Before COVID, I was stuck in a job that made me dread Monday mornings, basically any day of the week. And I felt like nothing that I'm doing is meaningful, and I didn't even learn any new skills. So I was desperate and I really needed to change my life. I really wanted to, but I really didn't know how. But I knew that I was drawn to video. I wanted to make YouTube videos, but I never had the courage to actually do that because I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid of doing it wrong. I was afraid it didn't work. So I just didn't do it until I went to Indonesia a couple years ago. And back then it was COVID, so I needed to stay in a quarantine for 10 days in a hotel in Indonesia, in Jakarta. And that's when I was isolated from friends. I couldn't do many things. So I started with a Skillshare course and I learned how to edit videos. And then I just released my first TikTok videos. And I started making content and I fell in love with the whole process. It was the beginning of a new life for me. So the question is, what made me do this? And it's the same thing that will help you as well if you feel stuck. So here's the hack that might save you a lot of time, and that is change the environment. Changing the environment is such a powerful and effective way to get unstuck. Why is that? Because two things happen when you change your environment. You detach from your old programming. You drop thinking patterns that are not serving you. And you drop habits effortlessly, and it's easier to ignore other people's judgment. But most of this judgment only existed in my mind anyway. It's just easier to rewire yourself somewhere new. So I know many people who stopped smoking once they moved to a new place, or who started to work out more once they moved to a new place. Or people who started social media once they moved to a new place, right? Changing your environment is a hack. It works immediately. New place, new perspective, new ideas, right? If you're stuck right now, just do it. Try to leave your home, go somewhere new, go to a new cafe, go to a new country, whatever is possible, because it is possible, right? Don't come up with any excuses why you cannot change your environment. You can. In some way or another, you will be able to change your environment. This gives you an immediate way out, but it is not a long-term strategy. Eventually, you will need something that, comes from within you, something that pulls you away from the stuff that you don't want to and pulls you towards the things that you want to do. I want you to understand that you're not broken, but you have been programmed through society, through bad education, and you have to reprogram yourself. You have to go back to your own operating system. Start thinking your own thoughts. Follow your interests. That's the most important thing I can tell you right now. As long as you follow your fucking interest, and you're willing to put in effort to, find answers, to learn things about your interest, you will succeed, right? You will feel better immediately. Most people try to change their behavior through force, right? People usually download apps. They set reminders. They create reward systems and all those things. And this might work for a week or for 2 months or something, but soon you will be back at square one and you will look for a new system. I can speak for myself. I've tried many things, and systems, if they're not my own, they don't really work that well. This happens because we don't really understand what's actually going on, right? How motivation works, how our energy works. And I want to talk you through this. SDT explains why most attempts at behavior change fail. And it tells us how we can actually develop long-term intrinsic motivation. You probably already know the basics. Intrinsic motivation is anything that you do because you want it, because you enjoy it. And extrinsic motivation is when you do something for a reward or because you're afraid of punishment. The problem with extrinsic motivation is that when you remove the external pressure, you stop wanting to do it. The behavior stops or changes, right? So obviously that is not very sustainable. We want to have the energy coming from within us, and we can use our own inner reward system. So if you truly want to unfuck your life and get moving, you need to rely less on rewards and start doing it because it aligns with who you are. That's the power that comes right from within you, and it's there, right? And why not harness it? How do we create intrinsic motivation? According to SDT, we have three psychological needs that need to be fulfilled. And if we do so, this will strengthen our resolve, it will strengthen our focus and our ability to continue on our path. So what are these three psychological needs? The first one is autonomy. And autonomy means basically you have the power to make your own choices. And this is more than just being independent, right? It's not about being completely alone without any people, of course, but it is about doing the things that align with you, right? To express your values, things that are important to you, do things that are meaningful to you, and taking the time to doing them. And when you have that, you naturally become more authentic, creative, and motivated, as long as your actions align with who you are. And without autonomy, if you don't have any time, if you work for someone else all day and you don't even take time for yourself, if you're so busy with all those responsibilities for other people, so you don't have any time for yourself anymore, you will suffer and your motivation will decline as well. Let's continue with the second psychological need, and that is competence. We want to feel that we're in control of our lives. We want to feel like we have the skills to survive, the skills to thrive, the skills to do what needs to be done. And every time we feel we come closer to that goal, right, to be more competent, we feel good about ourselves. If you see we are better than we are yesterday, if we are continuing learning something and we see progress, it makes us feel good. We release dopamine in our body, and that will make our efforts feel more effortless. So it doesn't feel like effort anymore. This is exactly what feels like play. When we do something that we enjoy so much, we are learning, we're growing, but it doesn't feel like we have to do it, right? This is partly because of dopamine, rewarding us for doing something that we're curious about, and rewarding us for becoming better, more knowledgeable, more skillful in our pursuit. When you feel competent, you trust that you can navigate through life, that you can solve problems ahead of you, because you feel like you can trust yourself. You have the skill, you have the ability, and you have proven yourself that you are able to learn, to do what it takes to get to that level where you can survive, where you can thrive in life. And if you don't have that, if you don't feel confident, you're likely to be overwhelmed, frustrated. You feel helpless, right? And eventually you will lack motivation to even start learning something. That's called learned helplessness. Maybe you just live life thinking like, hey, I don't have a chance in life. It doesn't even matter. This is very dangerous. And that's something I want to help you avoid in the framework later in this video. Competence and autonomy work well together. When you choose a skill to learn, that is autonomy, you see progress, which will help you in your competence. See, already there we can stack that stuff, we can stack motivations that way, and it becomes less hard, less and more effortless. Can you say that? More effortless. It becomes effortless, to get out there and to learn something new, which is important to unfuck your life. Did I say unfuck too much in this video? I have to question. I usually don't curse so much in videos. Anyway, let's continue with the third psychological need, and that is relatedness, because we want to feel like we belong. We are humans, we are social creatures, and we need genuine connection with others, obviously. And we are just wired to care for people and feel like we belong somewhere. If you have strong relationships, strong family, that is an amazing thing to have. You feel like you're supported and you can share things. It provides a great source of energy, of emotional fuel if you have some support from friends and family. But it's also not that easy. Even though you have a good background, you have a good social life, it can still be hard, because when you start changing, pursuing autonomy, building new skills, your existing relationships might feel threatened, or they just don't relate to what you're experiencing, right? And this can create a gap, and you can feel misunderstood, right? If you forge your own path, if you just do the things that are actually good for you, it can sometimes feel like you're distancing yourself from your old life. It doesn't have to be that way. I'm just saying, you still need another way to connect, maybe with people that are more going a similar path than you are, people with your interests, with your a similar level of ambition. Look for people who are on the path, people who want to grow, people who want to unfuck their life too. You can look in online communities, in social events, whatever fits for you. Build a circle with people in similar situations with similar interests. Keep them close to you and keep in touch with them. It really keeps me motivated knowing that when I have an idea or I'm working on a product or on an offer, that I can just contact friends or colleagues, peers on WhatsApp and ask them about their opinion. And because they're doing the same thing, they can give me real feedback and not just say, well done, Patrick. No, they can say like, hey, I have some thoughts. This doesn't work well yet. And believe it or not, this helps me to get motivated because I feel connected. I feel people care about what I'm doing, and I get feedback, which will improve my confidence in my abilities. So I feel more competent, right? And again, we're touching the different psychological needs here. So as you can see, these psychological needs, they work together, and you should also have them work together. You should stack them on top of each other. And you might think now, so, okay, Patrick, cool, we have these needs. What do I do with this? How do I actually get tactical? And that's what we will do right now, because I created a little framework, 5 simple steps for you that you can follow. And it's actually pretty simple. I was surprised how simple this is and how fun it is to actually do, because I did this a few times. And it goes as follows. Let's start with step number 1, and that is start a project. What I mean by project is that it's something that that has an end, it has a beginning, it is measurable, it's specific, all those things. And this can be anything that you pursue for a certain period of time on a regular basis. And the only thing that is important is that it piques your interest, right? So what can be a project? It can be learning a complex song on guitar. It can be building an app, writing a newsletter, creating a YouTube channel, or starting a side gig. And let me tell you why these projects actually work in terms of the 3 psychological needs. You choose what to build, how to build it, and when to build it. And you develop skills, and you see progress at all times, which helps you to become more competent. And if you share your project with other people, if you make it public, if you share it with friends, you can even create a social factor and create a sense of relatedness. So choose one project and commit to 30 minutes a day and just do this project. Do it for 1, 2, 3 months and see where it takes you. Remember, our brain is designed to want more when we see progress, okay? So that means when you learn something and you feel like you're progressing in something that feels meaningful to you, you release dopamine. So your brain goes, oh, wow, this is cool. That's fun. I want to do that. So the moment you're doing this, you're seeing the progress while you're practicing, for example, it feels less hard because of the dopamine. It just feels more, you feel pleasure. And also your brain will remember and think, oh, this was good. This is important. Let's do this again. So this is the reward system kicking in. The next time you will sit down, you already feel this rush of excitement. Your body, your brain will already say like, hey, this is good. We did that last time. It worked well. We had progress. It's cool. It's fun. So that's how you trick yourself into continuing and being willing to put in the work because you stack these factors of motivation. So instead of getting your dopamine hits by scrolling on social media, you will get your dopamine by finding your purpose. So I don't know. I think that's a pretty cool thing and a good replacement. But see for yourself. The time you carve out is sacred. Never skip a day. This is your space. This is your opportunity to become who you are supposed to become. Don't take this chance away from you. Okay, step number 2. Now we're getting a little bit more deep here into our psychology because we need to face our limiting beliefs. Boom, boom, boom. I know it's deep stuff. We won't solve this today in like 3 simple steps, but I want you to be aware of your limiting beliefs, because what will happen next once you pick a project like we did? You will have thoughts, and these thoughts will sound something like, I'm not creative enough. I don't have time. People will judge me. I'll fail like last time. And believe me, I basically just took these sentences from my own mind from the past because I've been thinking those and I still think those. And I want you to do the same. Become aware, write them down, all of them. And then I want you to add a new sentence to any belief that you have, and that is, I'm doing it anyway. I'm not creative enough, and I'm doing it anyway, right? People will judge me, and I'm doing it anyway. See, that already feels so good. I can already feel the power surging. I can already feel more motivated by just saying that, Look, you won't be able to just get rid of them right away, right? It's programmed in our mind. We grew up with these narratives in our mind, and they might have been useful in the past, right? This is also important to remember. They have been serving us. Otherwise, we wouldn't use them. You have to act despite what you think you know about yourself. Push beyond that limiting belief. Give yourself the chance to see a new aspect of you. If you want to change, you want to act like the person you want to become. So become aware of your thinking patterns, of the voice inside your head that's trying to hold you back. Acknowledge them. And then do it anyway. That's the only way your brain will learn how to build new patterns, right? Forge new neural pathways, in your brain, because you cannot just think them. You can create a new identity by doing something that this identity would do. All right, step number 3. Let's design your environment. Your environment is either helping you to evolve or keeping you stuck. You can't build a new life surrounded by cues of your old one, right? Remember, these old patterns, you trigger them by your environment. If there's a pack of popcorn on your nightstand every night, you will want to eat popcorn before you go to bed, right? I mean, it's fun to do that, I think. Not that I ever done that, but the point is, you want to put that popcorn away if you want to lose weight, if you want to have a healthy sleep. So if your desk is a mess, your feed is full of people that make you anxious and jealous, and if your calendar is so full with responsibilities that you don't even have time with yourself, you're fighting an uphill battle. Sure, you can leave the country like I did back then, but at some point you will have an environment in which you want to live and in which you are, or you are already somewhere where you cannot just leave because you have family, a house, an apartment, and that's totally okay. You can still design your environment in a different way, right? You can arrange your desk, you can arrange the way you work. Okay, step number 4, it's about tracking, but not in the way that you might think, because many people like to track the outcome. They like to track results, like how many views do I make with this video? How many kilometers did I run? How much weight can I push now? And sure, you can do all these things. I personally don't measure so much. I find it dull. But if you want to do that, that's totally fine. There's many good reasons to actually measure things like that. But the point here for us is I want you to measure not outcomes, but evidence. So what do I mean by that? Evidence that you actually wake up and you do the thing. Over time, you will see, hey, I wake up, I carve out time, I actually do the thing. It's been 30 days. I have been on it. Wow, great, cool. This will show yourself that you're able to push through things. And this is tracking progress. If I see I have done that for 10 days now, I am happy. I release dopamine. I feel pleasure seeing the progress, right? And that's why these habit trackers work so well. When people track them every day and they just see, okay, I showed up every day for weeks, for months, for years. It's amazing. It's a great feeling, right? Each time you complete your task, you're reinforcing a new identity. You tell your system, I'm the kind of person who follows through. So the things you should track instead are days worked, skills practiced, problems solved, something like this. Step number 4 is about sharing our journey, because as you might have noticed, we didn't cover the aspect of relatedness so much in this framework yet. So how do we actually do this? And I was thinking about that myself. I wasn't really sure how this could work, because there are so many ways we can connect to people, right? And it's so different from every person. You might have a great family and great people who support you and who also enjoy you trying new things, right? And that is amazing. And you probably don't even have to do anything, right? If you feel like you have a great social support, there's nothing I can tell you. But if you feel like there are not enough people around you that understand what you are doing or what you want to do, then you will have to keep your eyes perked for people who do understand you. If you're introverted like me, it might be hard to actually reach out and, have them exchange numbers with you and then actually stay in touch. this can be hard, but I have found so much value in this. And just by staying in touch with some of these people, it has given me so much great relationships as well, friendships, and great feedback for my own projects. And that way I feel connected, I feel competent, I feel like I'm improving, and I feel like I'm not alone in this journey. So if there's nobody around you here in your environment, then fret not. The internet is out there. The powerful, amazing world of social media is there. And believe it or not, social media is amazing, right? I believe so. You can consume and you can waste your life on social media, but you can also find new ideas, learn a new skill, and find amazing people out there, right? And so go out and connect. And if you don't want to do that, at least find a friend that you can tell all about your project and share your journey with this friend regularly. So show your process, your struggles, your small wins, and the things that you learn. What I like doing is to do stuff online right away, since social media is my medium. I write in public, I post every day, I post every week. These are things that, where I create something, where I learn, where I follow my interest, that is video, that is making content, and I'm doing it publicly. So I feel immediately connected because I am sharing for a online community, for my people, and that's how I also get into conversation with other people online. Most of my network comes from LinkedIn. I used to not like LinkedIn, but I do like it now because I find amazing people there. And okay, I'm gonna leave you with this one thing. The goal is not to impress anyone. It's to normalize experimentation. Follow your interest, no matter what. Find what interests you and find a way to put it into a project. Follow that thing. Do something. Just fucking do it. Learn something and share it with people. This is something that will get you started. It will build momentum, and you will discover new things about yourself, and you develop skills that you can then use for whatever you want, for your own business, for your own project, for something that might even make you money, right? So get out there. If you have questions, write me a comment, share this video with anyone who could benefit from it, or leave a like. I would love to stay in touch with you. I thank you so much for the time. I really put my heart into this, and I love that kind of work. So namaste. See you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.